Hi, everybody. Laura here for a new year of Legal Talk Tuesdays. We are past the holiday season at the start of a new year, and that means one big thing in the world of family law lawyers. Divorce cases start to pour in. People are usually surprised to learn that January is one of the biggest months when people file for divorce, but if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, especially here in the South where you don't like to ruin the holidays for the kids or the grandparents. So especially this year with all of the added pressure and stress of COVID, I think we're going to see a few more divorces kind of pull in January. We'd like to assure you that it really doesn't have to be a costly, aggressive, or drawn out process to get a divorce. I want to share a few things today that you can do to prepare and protect yourself if you're thinking about getting a divorce, and what we can do for you here at MyVirtual.Lawyer. So first, let's talk about kids. If you have children under the age of 18, you need to think long and hard without your personal emotions about what's best for your children in this breakup. Where are the children going to live? If they live primarily with one parent, what does visitation look like? Financial support. Who's going to pay child support and how much? The rules on child support changed in 2020, so there's a lot more detail involved in the calculations. That's something that an attorney can really help you figure out as opposed to trying to figure it out for yourself, because the math has gotten a little bit more complicated. Arkansas is also, just a little tidbit of information, is a default joint custody state. So if you can't agree on custody and visitation between the two adults, then you get to let a judge decide. And that honestly may be their solution. So if that's not the best choice for you, then you need to think about what that looks like and talk to your spouse about the options that you might have. An attorney can really help you navigate all of these questions and offer advice and options based on their experience. Number two, let's talk about property. Do you own the house that you live in? Do you own land? Who's going to be staying in the house? Are you going to sell the house and both of you move? Can the person who is going to stay in the house, let's say that one of you does, can they afford to refinance the house? That's a bigger deal. The last few years is to, refinancing options. We would recommend that you call the lender to see if the person that's staying can assume the loan without having to go through the formal process of refinancing. But that might be your only option. So you need to look at the money numbers when it comes to that. When it comes to land, you'd be surprised how many people have a small plot of land or an interest in land, because we are Arkansas, we're a big state with a lot of land. And that's something that you need to look into, and it needs to be addressed in your divorce. Next thing is money. This honestly can be even trickier than dealing with children. If you see my dog pop up, it's because he was making noises. So I thought it would be best to have him on my lap versus whimpering on the side. But when it comes to money, that's a big sticking point. And often it's really one of the big reasons that people get divorced. If there are money issues in your marriage that have partially led maybe to you wanting to leave or getting that divorce, or if you think there may be an issue, there are a couple things that we suggest that you do right away. One is open a separate bank account. It's still considered, whatever you put in there is still considered marital money, but it's going to be easier for you to pull from a specific separate account that's only your name, so that you have better control and tracking on what's happening in that account. Just keep in mind, you can't hide things from your spouse. It's still considered marital money. It just might be easier for you to have that separate bank account that you start on your own so that you can continue that after the divorce. If there have been issues in the past or current issues, you might consider putting a credit freeze on your name, if your spouse has shown poor judgment about debts and opening credit accounts in your credit lines in your name. That's something that you could look into so that nothing can happen. No new accounts can be opened without your knowledge and permission during this process. And then let's last talk about MyVirtual.Lawyer. Our goal here at MVL is to help you work with your spouse to come to an agreed solution. The more that you can rationally discuss and decide things as the adults, the better it is for your emotions and your pocketbook. The reason that most people think divorce is expensive is because we hear those horror stories either on TV, movies, or from friends. it doesn't really have to be. It doesn't have to be that nasty, expensive situation that we hear about in, like I said, in those horror stories. If you let lawyers on both sides fight things out for you, that hourly rate that they charge can really climb very quickly. That's why we promote reasonable solutions and resolution of possessions and custody, and we charge only a flat fee. We don't charge any other fees. There's not any kind of hidden bills at the end of the month. So it's a flat fee that you know upfront on the, before you even hire us. Here's what it's going to cost, and this is all it's going to cost, which is really nice. No, it doesn't work in every situation of a family divorcing, but it honestly can work for most. Know that there is that alternative out there. An MVL attorney here in Arkansas, that's me, that's going to be your family law attorney. We're in your back pocket for advice, the knowledge that we have. I've been doing this for a while. Suggestions, instructions, making sure that all of your paperwork will protect you, not just now, but in the future. The reason that we can charge those lower fees, those flat fees, is because we aren't representing you to the court system. We're helping you represent yourself in court. So you do the administrative work with detailed instructions on that we give you, but we're actually making sure that all the legal checkboxes are there, and using the knowledge that we have on our past experience. And I used to be a litigator. I used to be in court all the time. I have that knowledge so that I can help protect you, not, like I said, not just now, but in the future. I'll put a link to my calendar, my consultation calendar, in the comments below. You can set an appointment to talk to me about your specific situation in more detail if you're curious and just want to kind of start the process of the conversation. And just to wrap up, nobody likes to talk about divorce. It's not a happy subject, but when it comes to divorce, it's a real thing. A lot of people go through it, and you shouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed when working through those emotions. It's best to keep a level head on and work towards the best solution for your family. So thank you so much for joining us here in the new year, January of 2021. I still am having a hard time saying 2021, but we appreciate your time. We appreciate the support that you've given us, and join us next week. We'll be here every Tuesday. So next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m., Brooke will be here to talk to our small business people, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a good day.